We finally had a few very rainy days here in the midst of a dry and hot summer. This summer it has seemed to just be that way. And quite honestly, I don't remember if it was last summer. I was very pregnant, and then I had a longer hospital stay for our little baby boy, so it is just a bit of a blur. But we have had weeks of no rain, high temperatures, and then all of a sudden, we have 2 to 3 days of just pouring rain. It's funny how a change like this, even one that you wouldn't think would encourage you, does. Sometimes we, or maybe just I, dream of sunny summer days full of fresh veggies straight from the garden, just sprinkled with a little salt and pepper for lunch, or a fresh bouquet of homegrown flowers in a vase on my Poppy's old farm table, or even the scene of the kids playing in the water hose. In reality, summer days here in Arkansas are so hot that you can't go out in the afternoon and work in the garden, and the kids are all cooped up inside during the hottest part of the day. So a few nice rainy days give me a pep in my step from the change of scenery, enough of a pep to do some deeper cleaning in my kitchen. My baking jars have now emptied, which is kind of a rare occurrence, and I want to take advantage of this to give them a good wash and a refill. Cleaning the cabinet under them, the KitchenAid, and the cabinet doors below was also much needed. Now I've run out of a few staples, but we are trying to eat our pantry and freezers clean, so I will be making do with what I have. One of those items that I'm missing is self-rising flour. Thankfully though, I'm able to make my own easily. So the jar that usually holds the self-rising flour is going to be filled with oats now. I keep 5-gallon buckets of staples like wheat berries, oats, beans, rice, and popcorn in our pantry, but sometimes this means the convenience is lacking and those items do not get used. Hopefully by pulling these oats out, we will use them more in cookies or baking and even oatmeal for breakfast. Now all of the rain brought in cooler temperatures, making it feel just a little like fall. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one to rush the seasons, but it did get me thinking that we are already halfway through August, and where we live, we don't see really cool days until closer to October, but the scenery does change. The leaves on the trees are starting to turn red and orange, the outdoor sounds just are a little different, and I can feel fall creeping in slowly. Every year, it seems, I'll be taking a walk around the farm or driving down the road to take my kids to the local library, and it seems that all of a sudden there's just a different look and feel outside. Despite high temperatures, it shows fall is on its way. That doesn't mean today or tomorrow, but in the next few weeks, I can tell it's coming and everything around us is changing. So sometime in September, I'll probably be embracing more fall activities, but some summer activities will remain. Our first frost isn't until November, and it will still be warm for a few more months. So for now, I'm embracing the final weeks of summer before the landscape fully turns. One of those things to embrace for me is fresh eating. Fresh fruits, fresh eggs and milk from our farm. So today for supper, I was craving a little extra time in the kitchen. I've been cooking very simple meals because we are trying to clean out the freezer, like I said, but I happened upon a cinnamon swirl loaf of bread that I froze because it wasn't the most beautiful for selling. And it inspired me that on this cozy rainy day, we will be enjoying a fresh French toast casserole made with our farm fresh ingredients and homemade bread. I'm pairing this with sausage from a local farm for a protein-rich and delicious supper. Now, if you'd like to make this for yourself, I'll type up the recipe in the description and link the blog post that will have it included as well. But for this casserole, I cubed 1 loaf of my country bread recipe. I've shared it before many times and will link a video or two in case you want to check that out. This particular loaf, though, I had added a brown sugar cinnamon mixture before rolling it for a cinnamon swirl. I added that to a greased 9x13 pan after I cubed it, and then in a large mixing bowl, I'm adding a dozen eggs, 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of cream, a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and a tablespoon of vanilla. And I'm just going to whisk that really well. Then pouring that over the top of the bread, giving it a little stir to coat all of the bread. That is going to sit and soak up the custard while I preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to bake this for 30 minutes, covered, and then remove the foil for the last 30 minutes of bake time. Now this makes a large pan of casserole, great for a potluck or maybe a brunch, but for a small family, I would recommend making half of this. This actually has fed us 3 times now. We are topping this off tonight with homemade breakfast syrup made by combining equal parts of brown sugar and water and flavoring with a little maple syrup, then cooking down into a syrup and a sprinkling of powdered sugar. One of my worst habits in my homemaking is leaving my kitchen a mess at the end of the night. My husband is home, we're all tired, and I always tend to leave it for the next morning, but every morning that I have to clean up from dinner, it is a more stressful morning. And the dishes are more difficult to clean because they have sat all night. Tonight, we are going to get this kitchen cleaned up. This evening, I am taking just a second to hang a picture that I actually stole from my mom. She had this in her room but had taken it down and I grabbed it. It sat in the corner for a few days, but I want to add some pretty flowers in our bedroom here to last through the end of summer. If my husband or dad saw how much I just kind of winged this here, they would shake their heads, but that's okay because this was even and centered with no measuring and on the first try, so I am pretty proud of that.
Go far around and you're going to be kicking me. Go! Go! Forward! Now! Someone put a door.
Milk and chores are a little more exciting tonight because the geese are getting slightly more used to us. Now, I wouldn't say friendly with us, but they're coming around wanting feed and have eaten out of our hands a few times, and we've even been able to catch them.
Hi, Clancy.
I love these country scenes, and I sure hope you do too.